Hey everybody, I'm Kris Keefer with RacerX Films, and this is the 2020 version of Bikes of Supercross. Okay, Rockstar Energy Husqvarna rider Zach Osborne, and this guy to the left of me, Dave Feeney. Whew, he has been around. Listen, this is how long Dave's been around. Dave has been around. Casey Johnson, one of my good friends. Me and Casey lived together for a while. He was the wrench for Casey Johnson back when
I think 96, maybe.
And how long were you doing that before then?
Just a couple of years.
It's a long time, people. So he is Zach's mechanic. I couldn't think of a better pairing. These guys seem to mesh well together. Just knowing Zach, knowing you, it seems like a good mix. So take us through this Rockstar Energy Husqvarna of Zach's. I know there's some unique features to this, but maybe just give us a rundown on Zach's machine.
Well, Zach is smaller in stature, so basically we build the bike around his size. Lower handlebar mounts, cut down seat, taller foot pegs, just things to make it fit for him. Because he has shorter legs, he has a real tough time gripping the bike. So you'll notice there's a lot of grip tape on the bike. So it he needs to be able to grip the bike to go through the whoops.
A couple of things I just noticed just going around here. You guys might already know this, but Zach uses a Pro Taper micro end bar. So obviously Zach's hands is a youth large.
Or adult small.
So Zach's a tiny guy, right? We know this. So it's kind of cool to put your hand around and see exactly how small that grip is. He has a factory clutch lever, a little bit narrower and a little bit different shape, right?
Yeah. It's a lot smaller than a production lever, and also the brake lever is like that as well.
So before we start this little camera issue part that we're doing right now, there's a lot of fun things that I get to know about that maybe you guys don't get to hear about at home. So me and Dave were talking about how a factory bike is built. This is very interesting to me, and I don't know how you guys view it, but I assumed that he would just get a production motorcycle, they stripped it apart, and then they build it. But I was wrong. So Dave's going to walk us through the process of how Zach's machine gets to him to the final version.
Yeah, well, usually we will start off with just a bare frame. Then the engine department, factory services, will deliver us an engine already built. Suspension comes from WP, and we basically have all the parts in-house, and you have to build the whole thing from scratch. It's the wiring harness has to be put on, the throttle body has to be built, subframe has to be built, triple clamps have to get built, wheels come to us as hubs, spokes, and rims, and we assemble them, true them, put the tires on them, and away we go.
I just thought that was interesting because we were talking and I assumed that you would just get a production motorcycle, strip it, and then start over. But these guys get these machines in pieces because each part of this factory bike is specially hand put together. And then this guy makes the magic happen and puts it all in. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It's fun to build a new bike. It's probably takes nearly a week to build it from scratch. After that, it's fairly easy. Like the week-to-week maintenance, it takes 8 to 10 hours to get it apart, service everything, and put it back together.
A couple of things. Obviously, a steel frame. Do you guys do anything to the frames when you get them? Is there anything special that you guys have to go through to do this?
They come from Austria. They're already powder-coated black. They have some gussets on them that are already on the frame. So basically, we get the frame. We just have to prep it as far as removing some paint in different places and stuff like that. And yeah, obviously you got to tap out all the bolt holes. But other than that, they're pretty much ready to go.
All right, one more thing to talk about. Let's talk about Zach's suspension a little bit. How close is Zach setting to obviously Jason Anderson's and is there anything really different that these two seem to like?
Everything, as far as I know, is fairly close as far as the 450 guys on our team. They're all within just a little bit, and it's just personal preference.
All right. I said one more thing, but I have one more thing now. So this seat, I talked a little bit about Cooper Webb's seat, and that thing is aggressive, man. So now we have Zach's hump. I noticed Zach has a hump, but his hump's a little bit farther back than most guys. So is that just because he's a shorter guy?
He was testing a little bit, and I wasn't a part of the test, and that's where I got told that the hump needed to go. And I think it's more of a location thing than anything. So that's where he wanted it. That's where it goes. Guts makes us the lower seat with the seat cover and supplies with the humps, and I just have to put it all together.
And you guys can see over here, special FMF head pipe. Obviously, it's not something you guys can get at home for your FC 450. It's a little bit different to match with the engine. But the consensus around here is like, this thing is more stock than people think, correct?
Yes. It's, they're built to last as far as these guys ride the wheels off of them. So the engine is a little bit stronger than stock, but they're more looking for more bottom end than anything.
And as you guys know, if you're an FC 450 rider, it's a smooth character down low, and it builds up RPMs, and it's really long. So these guys need more bottom end, just like Cooper Webb. We talked about that. So very cool machine. Dave does beautiful work. I also know you guys run a closed off side panel and not drilled out like they offer for the production side.
Yeah. We had tried the drilled out one, and Zach didn't like it because it made too much noise.
All right, guys, sitting on Zach Osborne's bike. Some of you guys at home never going to be able to feel this. So just a couple things I noticed real quick. For how small his hands are, and we talk about this, his clutch lever is out far. It's kind of weird. He has a pretty clean cockpit area in his handlebars. Dave just told me he has a button where he can put where the lights come on here, so you know where the revs are on the start. So that's cool. Also, again, seems to be the theme of the paddock so far is not a lot of free play in his throttle, and his brake lever is actually in a little bit further.
That's the way he likes it, and I was really astounded that he likes the clutch lever out so far, but I think he likes the way that it feeds out on the start when it's out further.
And just also, my left leg is up on the foot peg, and I noticed that for me, I'm 6 foot, very cramped feeling. Obviously, Zach is nowhere near. How tall is Zach?
I could tell you, but he would probably get embarrassed.
Zach, we know. Okay, I'm not going to say it, but we know. Doesn't feel right because my knee feels really high. I feel cramped. But again, these factory bikes are tailor-made for each rider. Very cool. Kind of different also, putting my hand around the grip. Very small. So good job, Zach. Nice cockpit. Okay, here we go. Hey, everybody. We're back on the other side of the pits. There's a little fence, like a wall, where the San Diego pits, where all the factories are. And then you walk across that fence line. You guys saw the best of the best. This guy has improved a lot in 2020. I told him on the Pulp MX show the other day, I'm very proud of him. He worked his butt off. He's doing a lot better. He's making main events in the stacked field. This field is really, I'm not going to say deep. I'm going to say thick. I'm going to say something different.
Thick with an E.
Thick. All right? As long as 216 behind us doesn't rev his engine, we'll be good. So, Alex Ray, tell us about, now, for those of you who are going to run some B-roll, we're going to go over this whole bike. Alex did early morning press, so don't mind the dirt. It's not pristine Saturday night pristine yet. But tell us about, you just got off of Suzuki. Kawasaki was really late.
Yes.
Tell us about your machine.
All right, so yeah, here's a little bit of my bike. Obviously, my mechanic, he's not here, but that's okay. He went to go get some tickets. But yeah, so starting out with the suspension, obviously, SGB Racing. So Jason at SGB Racing, he he does the Race Tech Gold valves. He puts those in there, and he also does these cool coatings. So yeah, we have Babbitts on board. They're supplying the bikes. Recluse clutch, full Recluse torque drive. Also have the slave cylinder on this side with a hydraulic clutch, which is key. We went with the X-Trig 21 mil offset.
Stock is 22.
No, stock is 23.
Okay, he's right. I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
Stock is 23. Yes, and so we have the FMF full system on here. We just did some stuff to the engine. We did a Race Tech.
Yeah, tell us about the Race Tech engine. What's in that thing?
All stock components, stock piston, stock everything, stock valves, just a little bit of porting just for a little bit more bottom and a little bit more pull. And yeah, man, we have the Maxxis tires, run 12.5 in the rear, 14 in the front.
And Vortex bars?
Yes, of course. We have Vortex bars, chain sprocket. Like the Vortex guys are awesome. They came on board late. But huge supporter of the Pulp MX show.
Different Works chassis lab mounts. What does that get in here? What does that do for feel for you compared to stock mounts?
Okay, so with the stock mounts, they're a little bit more rigid. What we did was we went with a little bit softer mount. And what that does, pretty much, it keeps a little bit straighter in the whoops for me. It gives
it more feel in the whoops.
Yes, exactly. It has a little bit more feel in the whoops, keeps the bike straighter instead of going a little side-to-side pitch. Also, whenever you have your flat turns, it helps the bike stick, I feel like, a little bit more rather than like push. It just feels more planted to the ground with the softer mount. So yes, Works Chassis Labs, huge part of the program this year. And thank you.
It's a B. It said the Stinger Race Fuel wanted to come see it.
Oh yeah. Stinger's cousin.
Okay, so Alex Ray, SGB Racing Kawasaki. Before we get off this thing, real quick, talk to us about the switch. So you're on HEP Suzuki, now you're on the SGB Racing Kawasaki. What was the biggest difference between bike to bike for you?
From bike to bike, I think just mainly comfortability. The Suzuki is a super, super rigid frame.
Yep. Super
rigid.
Now you got some comfort in the Cowie.
Yes, of course. Though I feel like the Kawasaki suits my riding style. I have more I hang it out, as you can tell.
Yeah, you hang it out.
Yeah, I hang it out, so I feel like the Cowie sort of helps with that, I guess you could say. And
it helps straighten them out a little bit. It's like a good parent. The Kawasaki is a good parent for A-Ray and the Supercross races because I feel like if you're on the Suzuki, it's like having no parents.
Yeah, and also too, last year I was on Olin suspension. This year, we're just with the stock Showa stuff, which on a Kawasaki, it's pretty much a kit what it comes with. So, we had the Race Tech Gold valves from, with the SGB Racing tuned. I feel like I was just comfortable right away. I didn't have much time on this bike before the season started. I would say not even a month. And yeah, man, right away, super comfortable feel.
You like open cleat design foot pegs?
Yes, they clear out a lot better, and it makes me feel more planted on the foot peg.
All right, there you have it, A-Ray, Tennessee kid. I know some of you guys want to get on Fenway Park. That's fine. Baseball fans want to see what it's like to be on the diamond. Well, maybe you have a little league park that you want to go on. You don't really want to go on that diamond as much, but it doesn't matter. I'm here on Alex Ray's bike, okay? And it feels like something out of my garage, like I would ride. It's cushy. I like that his seat's a little bit blown out, has some cush to it. Now, pushing down on his fork, it's as stiff as some of the other guys that I've been pushing down. It's pretty stiff. He doesn't have the feel that we've been talking about earlier in the day, right? His fork seems like initially it's pretty stiff just to me right away. I do like, and I can appreciate, the grips are pre-broke in for me. I enjoy that part of it. The ARC levers, I'd love an ARC lever. I like that feel. And I just told A-Ray his bike feels a little bit tall in the front for me, but that's kind of the nature of a Kawasaki anyway. So having a crossbar to me makes the bike feel taller. I don't know if you guys are a crossbar type of rider or a crossbar-less. I would prefer no crossbar, but A-Ray's different. But to me, yeah, feels good. It's nothing like what I felt on the other side of the fence. But on this side of the fence, these guys are still busting their ass, training hard. And look, A-Ray's making main events. That says a lot. These top 20 guys, top 22 guys are fast riders. And maybe he's not on the optimal, most prestigious equipment out there, but he's making do with a great bike, a great team, and it's commendable. So Alex Ray, root for him. He's a fun guy. I like him. His home life is better this year. I really support that.